Okay, so let's imagine something for a second. Picture a future, just a couple of years from now, where that anxious late-night habit of typing your symptoms into a search bar is completely gone. That's really the big promise of ChatGPT Health. It's a tool that signals this huge shift in how we look for health information, and yeah, it might just be the end of Dr. Google as we know it.
You know the drill, right? We've all been there. A simple headache, and 10 minutes later, you've convinced yourself you have a rare brain tumor. That spiral of anxiety is the exact thing ChatGPT Health is built to solve. It's all about moving us away from the chaotic Wild West of search results and into something much more structured and, well, sane.
And this comparison really cuts to the core of it, doesn't it? On one side, you have what we all know, random, anxious searching through a sea of conflicting info. On the other side is the promise of a personal medical agent, something that gives you structured, private guidance in a secure health sandbox. So how does it actually pull that off? Well, it all kicks off with privacy.
Let's be honest, the number one question with any new health tech is always about data privacy. I mean, it has to be. OpenAI obviously knew this, so they built the entire system around this idea of a health sandbox, basically a secure, walled-off little garden just for your medical information.
And here is the single most important part of that sandbox. It is a zero training environment. So what does that mean? It means that unlike the standard ChatGPT, your personal health info, your lab results, your private chats, none of it gets fed back into the machine to train future AI models. It never becomes part of that giant collective AI hive mind. Your data stays yours, period.
So how do they actually make this happen? It's through something with a fancy name, a partitioned memory architecture. But think of it like this. The app has these really strict digital walls. It uses a gentle nudge to guide you into the right, secure section. It isolates your health memories so they can't leak out into your regular chats. And of course, it encrypts everything from start to finish. Let's take a look at how that nudge actually works.
It's actually a really simple but super smart user experience. You might start typing about, say, a headache in your normal ChatGPT window. Right away, a little prompt will pop up, gently suggesting you move over to the Secure Health tab. You click it, and boom, you're inside that private sandbox, and your entire conversation is completely walled off.
Okay, so privacy, check. But that's only half the battle, right? The information also has to be safe and accurate. And this isn't just GPT-5 with a medical textbook uploaded to it. Nope. It runs on this specialized safety layer called the Health Bench Framework, which was built by actual doctors.
And we're not talking about just a handful of advisors. More than 260 physicians from all over the world collaborated on this thing, making sure that real, human medical expertise was baked into its very core. They weren't just consultants. They were in the trenches, building and refining the AI's logic.
And how'd they do that? By painstakingly grading over 600,000, that's 600,000 different AI-generated responses. Every single answer was checked against rubrics created by doctors for things like clinical safety and how helpful it actually was. It was all about fine-tuning the model to think less like a machine and more like a doctor. So what does this Health Bench framework actually do? Well, it boils down to three really key things. First, safety above all else. If it sees red flag keywords like chest pain, it immediately escalates and gives you emergency info. But beyond just safety, it also focuses on clarity. And that brings us to the second point, which for most of us is huge. It translates all that medical jargon. And this translation feature is, frankly, a game changer. It takes these complex terms that you'd normally have to run off in Google, like hyperlipidemia, and just tells you it means high cholesterol. It turns cholecystectomy into gallbladder removal. It gives you plain, simple English that you can actually understand, without losing any of the important clinical details.
So privacy and safety, that's the foundation. But this next feature is what makes ChatGPT Health truly, truly powerful. It's the ability to connect to your live, real-time clinical data through an integration with a company called BeWell.
Now, for users in the United States, this right here is the real game changer. This integration is what transforms the tool from being just a generic health encyclopedia into a deeply personalized health navigator that understands your specific medical history.
And through this BeWell API, we're talking about a massive network. ChatGPT Health can securely connect to 2.2 million healthcare providers. That means it can get access to your actual lab results, your doctor's notes, even your insurance claims data. So what does a live connection like this actually unlock for you? Well, for starters, it can do something called longitudinal tracking. That means it can analyze 10 years of your blood tests to spot a trend, not just one single result. It can also act as an insurance decoder, explaining why a claim was denied. And it can help you get ready for appointments by summarizing your history and even suggesting what questions you should ask your doctor.
And the potential here is just profound. According to one analysis, the system's ability to cross-reference years of data and spot something like a genetic mutation that multiple human doctors had missed, that is its true unicorn click value. It's like having a powerful new set of eyes on your health. But, and there's always a but, that incredible power, that ability to see what human doctors might miss, brings us right to the core dilemma. With all this convenience comes a massive question of trust, and a really significant trade-off that every single user has to think about.
So, the official disclaimer is crystal clear. This tool is not intended for diagnosis. It's for navigation and education. But let's just be realistic for a second. When a tool can analyze your entire medical history and flag potential issues, for all practical purposes, it is performing a kind of powerful pre-diagnostic screen.
And this brings the trade-off into really sharp focus. On one side, you've got this idea of frictionless health, a single, centralized AI giving you incredible insights into your entire health history. And on the other side, you've got ultimate privacy, keeping your data fragmented, siloed, and under your own direct control, far away from any single company.
So, which way are people leaning? Well, the trend seems pretty clear. According to the source material, by 2026, most users are opting for the power of the AI agent. They're deciding that the benefits of that convenience and insight outweigh the risks of centralization.
And that really leaves us with this one final thought. You have the keys to your entire biological history. Every single test, every diagnosis, every gene. The question is no longer if AI is going to manage this data, it's who do you trust to hold those keys?